The restaurant was always bustling on Friday nights, filled with the chatter of executives, travelers, and locals who came for its reputation of discretion and quality. Among the many waitresses weaving between the polished wooden tables was Clara, a young woman with sharp eyes and a memory that rarely failed her. She had been working there for nearly 3 years, always attentive, always quiet, and always noticing things that others tended to miss. That night, a tall man in an understated suit sat at the corner table reserved for VIP guests. Few knew who he was, but Clara recognized him immediately. He was one of the country's wealthiest men, known for keeping a low profile despite his enormous fortune. Clara served him politely, never revealing her recognition. He ordered simply a glass of water, grilled salmon, and roasted vegetables. Yet, as she set down the water, her eyes caught something unusual. On the screen of his phone, open beside his hand, was an email displayed for just a second before he quickly locked it. She didn't intend to pry, but her quick glance was enough. The subject line included the name of one of his companies and the words "urgent transfer." Authorization. Something about the phrasing felt off, like the hundreds of scam attempts she'd seen in warnings posted online. As the evening went on, she continued her rounds, but her mind kept circling back. A man of his stature surely had security, yet he seemed distracted, even weary. When she returned with his main course, she noticed his phone buzz again. He glanced at it and frowned deeply. She caught another glimpse of the sender's name slightly misspelled, but close enough to pass unless one was paying attention. Clara's instincts flared. She knew that cybercriminals often relied on such tricks. Small details that were easy to miss in the rush of business. Her hands trembled slightly as she set the plate down. Should she say something? He was a billionaire, surrounded by advisors and experts, while she was just a waitress. Yet she also knew that silence could cost him dearly. She decided to act carefully. "Excuse me, sir," she said softly. "I couldn't help noticing the email you've been getting. I don't mean to intrude, but the sender's name looks odd. Are you sure it's real?" She expected irritation, perhaps even dismissal. Instead, he paused, studying her with sudden intensity. He unlocked the phone, scrolled back, and froze. Clara saw his face change, his composure shaken. He zoomed in on the sender's address one letter off from his company's domain. The email urged him to authorize a large transfer to what appeared to be a subsidiary account. In truth, it was a carefully disguised trap. He exhaled sharply, then muttered, "How did I not see this?" For a man so guarded and cautious, it was unsettling to realize how close he had come to approving something disastrous. Clara quickly apologized for speaking up, worried she had crossed a line. But instead of anger, he gave a rare smile. "You may have just saved me millions," he said quietly. He immediately called one of his aides, instructing them to trace and report the attempted fraud. Within minutes, a small team was working on his behalf to shut it down before any damage could occur. Clara stepped back, heart pounding, realizing that her small observation had triggered a chain of protection for wealth beyond her imagination. The rest of his meal went by in thoughtful silence. He ate slowly, occasionally glancing at Clara as though reevaluating the boundaries between people of power and those who lived ordinary lives. By the time dessert was offered, he declined, stood, and extended his hand toward her. She hesitated, then shook it. His grip was firm, but grateful. "Attention to detail is more valuable than most people realize," he said. "Never stop paying attention. It can change the world, or at least, it just saved mine." After he left, the restaurant buzzed with speculation. The other staff noticed the unusual exchange but didn't know what had passed between them. Clara kept quiet, not seeking attention. She returned to her duties, refilling glasses and clearing plates as though nothing unusual had happened. Yet inside, she carried the weight of what she had prevented. aware that one careless moment on his part could have cost his empire dearly. Later that night. As she walked home under the streetlights, she thought about the thin line between ordinary and extraordinary moments. She hadn't set out to save anyone. She had only done what came naturally, noticing, caring enough to speak up. But that simple choice had made a difference that rippled far beyond her shift. Far beyond the walls of the restaurant. The next morning, Clara returned to work as usual, but something had changed. A letter awaited her at the front desk, sealed in elegant stationery. Inside was a note from the billionaire himself, thanking her personally, along with an offer for a scholarship to complete her education's, something she had quietly been saving for but never thought possible so soon. He wrote that her ability to see what others overlooked was rare and should be nurtured. She read the letter twice, her hands trembling. Her colleagues were astonished when they learned about it, though she shared only parts of the story. Some whispered that she must have impressed him with charm, others that she was lucky. Clara knew the truth. It wasn't luck nor charm, but attention, humility, and courage to speak when it mattered. Those qualities had given her a place in a story she could hardly believe herself. In the weeks that followed, news outlets reported a foiled cyber attack against one of the billionaire's corporations. The loss would have exceeded hundreds of millions, possibly destabilizing markets and costing thousands of jobs. No one outside his closest circle knew the waitress's role in preventing it. Clara preferred it that way. She didn't need recognition and headlines. The satisfaction of knowing was enough. As months passed, she pursued her studies with the support he had given her. Yet she continued working at the restaurant, at least part-time, because she valued the lessons it taught her: patience, humility, and the power of small observations. Each night, she scanned the faces of customers, never sure what stories were unfolding in front of her. She knew now that even the smallest detail could carry the weight of millions. The billionaire, for his part, never forgot, though their lives rarely crossed again. He would occasionally send notes of encouragement or invitations to events she politely declined. To him, she was a reminder that wealth alone could not protect against danger. Was human connection and the vigilance of ordinary people that built true security. Clara remained the waitress who saw what no one else did, and in doing so, saved more than just money. She had saved trust, stability, and perhaps even a man's belief that the world still held honest, attentive souls. And so, the story lived quietly, never shouted from headlines, but whispered in the memory of one man who owed his fortune's safety to a waitress who dared to notice, and a young woman who learned that greatness often hides in the smallest details.